Hi all, welcome back to more Labyrinth, playing the extended campaign, which uses the first two expansions, Awakening and Forever War. Playing solo. This is part 9, I think. Yeah, part 9. So Jihadist player's turn. We've still got a bunch of cards, so it's quite early in the turn. We took a little bit of a chance. Well, I say we took a chance. I spoke about it. We've got the Benazir Bhutto in place, so they can't jihad in Pakistan, but there is an event that removes Benazir Bhutto, so that would be just the thing if we turned that over for the first card as well, because if it was the first card, that'd be even worse. Right, okay, so jihadist player's turn. Just give me a second. Right, okay, so first jihadist card play of this phase is Renditions. Now that's ringing a bell, yeah. Well, like I said, we looked at this card week. We didn't play it. I was going to play it last turn and then changed my mind. And that play if enhanced measures, renditions, or wiretapping is in the event box. I've got wiretap in my hand. I wasn't sure about enhanced measures or renditions. Kind of thought they'd probably be US events if this is a jihadist event. So it seems to make sense, and there you go, renditions is one of them. So however, US event, they're not going to play it. Detainees sent to less gentle hosts. Play if US hard. So just thinking about if we had it in our hand. Play if US hard, right, go that. Disrupt ones. If possible, jihadists discard a random card. Block detainee release. Can be blocked by leak, like we just spoke about. Yeah, my guess is that would have some information in the event table, I think. What is it? 44. Oh no, it's not there. Disrupt once if possible. Jihadist discard a random card. Yeah, when you do that though, in fact it explains that in the rules, does it not? Or give an example. If you discard a jihadist card, you just take the one off the top and discard it. Anyway, okay, so they're doing a 3-op. Well, they're not playing the event anyway, it's US event, right? Let's make sure we get things right this time. These are both regime change countries. Pakistan is not, however, we can't carry out a jihad there. I mean, it does say just a jihad, and I pondered on that for a little bit, but the term seems to mean both minor and major jihads. It's certainly written in the rules like that at certain points. Then sometimes it mentions minor and major. So I assume it's either either or. Okay, so is this a playable non-US event? No. Major jihad success at poor possible. Well, actually, they're not poor anymore, so it would just be a normal jihad to be doing anyway. They can't do. Well, we've got that base covered because that's definitely a jihad, and they can't do it. Is a major jihad possible? In Afghanistan, they've only got one cell. We've got 5 troops, and in is it 5? Yeah, because we've got NATO. Yeah, 5, and in Iraq, they've got 3 troops, and we've got 6 troops. So they need 5 more than cells. Yeah. So no funding tight. No selling good or fair Muslim where jihad success possible. Well, it would be, but however, Benazir Bhutto is in play. No jihad, it says on it. Just zoom in there just to show you. It says no jihad, and that was the reason we put it in there. So that'll be a no to that. Where were we? Selling good or fair. Right. Pumas on 1 to 4 more cells than where jihad success possible. No, it's poor Muslim anyway. It's poor Muslim. But right now, if Pakistan was poor, right, what would be the answer to that question? It's got 1 to 4 more cells and troops. You'd have to say that it's not possible, though, eh? But, I mean, it does explain that the jihad success is possible. This is true if the current awakening reaction markers count as... There's no reaction markers in... awakening markers in there. So, I mean, technically based on that, a jihad success would be possible, but I think you've got to give it the fact that we can't, there's no point, well, I don't know. I've already said that there is an event that could remove that. Problem is here though, hang on a minute. No, that's not true though, that's not true. No, see, they can't do it at all because they can't move it from fair to poor. And then they don't want to put cells in it because they've got 5 anyway. I mean, if you're reading it strictly by what this means, well, hang on. I mean, I've just said it's not poor. So it's a no. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Grant, it's a no, and that's that. You're saying if it was poor, I mean, it could have been in a poor state right now, and then, well, I suppose I'm asking that question. What would you take that to be? But the thing is, that would then be the first thing to look at because it's that poor and it's got 5 cells more than troops. It can't do the jihad, but this one here, I think, hopefully you know what I'm talking about, but I may be being silly and thinking that if this was poor, I'm sort of suggesting that as poor, there's no awakening markers there, so wouldn't it just recruit in there? Well, first of all, it would go to there to try and travel, and in fact, there is a cell in Afghanistan, or however it is, the last cell, so I don't think it would travel. But that would come down to recruit, and then it'd look at that, and it'd come to the Seer, sorry, that one there, Pyromazome, 1 or 4 more cells. I mean, it's silly. I think you would have to override that and say, well, no, it's not possible. And there's no point in putting more than 5 cells, more than troops anyway. You know? But going by how it's written and what that's meant to mean regarding awakening markers, it doesn't really say. Yeah, that's a funny one, I think. Let me know your thoughts. It seems silly to do it if it was. However, it's not poor anyway, so let's come back to this. So it's not poor, no. Is funding moderate? No. Is there a cell available? Yes, it's going to recruit. Okay. So, where is it going to recruit? Well, let's just put the flowchart back down again, Grant. So, comes across here. Poor moves on 1 to 4 more cells than where jihad success possible. Yeah, I mean, these cells are... There's more troops than cells in there, so that's not. If recruit, auto-recruit with best jihad DRM. So these are 2 auto-recruit countries, Afghanistan and Iraq. There's no DRM, there's no dice roll modifiers. Again, that's awakening and reaction markers. Good Muslim, no, they're both poor. Fair Muslim, no, they're both poor. Non-Muslim, they're both Muslim. Poor Muslim with best jihad DRM. So they're both the same. So we can't break it down. So we'll come across to the priorities table. To recruit... not Islamist rule, well, they're both not Islamist rule. Pakistan. Now, hang on, you didn't consider Pakistan here. Pakistan is a note of that. A note of that. See. I mean, Pakistan is a fair Muslim. I think I might have to look up this. I get the feeling this may have been asked before, may have come up in a game before. If Benazir Bhutto's in play, how do you treat these situations? I mean, it sort of feels a bit daft putting recruiting again in Pakistan, but I don't know, maybe. Alright, let me go and see if I can find anything on this. Right, so I've actually I looked for anybody else that might have maybe came across this, asked the question, couldn't find anything. So I popped my own question out there, but while I was looking over this, about to ask my question, I look back on this, and I'm sure some of you realise that this is poor Muslim, and I was saying, let's say Pakistan was poor, and that was going to be the start of my question. But when I read it again, poor Muslim were 1 to 4 more cells than troops and militia. There's 5 cells there. I mean, I suppose you could sort of say, if it was that poor and it only had 4 cells there, I suppose I could have asked that, because that could have been possible too. Would it still recruit in there? Yeah, maybe I should have asked that. I realised that didn't cover my situation, because it's got 5 cells and it says 1 to 4. However, I asked a question that looked like we're coming around here and landing at this, and basically asked the question, would they recruit in Pakistan? Maybe I could have a follow-up when I get the answer to say, look, if Pakistan was poor and it had 4 cells in it and Benazir Bhutto was in play, in fact I can leave this question here in the video. So if Pakistan was that poor governance, Benazir Bhutto's in play, and there's 4 cells in there, would the answer to that be a yes? And for that matter, if it went there and then went back to recruit, would it recruit in there with that? If it was that poor and it had 4 cells, bear in mind it can't carry out a jihad because Benazir Bhutto, but that's not what that is testing, if you like. I mean, it kind of could be, but I don't know. I might be skipping. I might say, well, that doesn't apply because you can never do a jihad in there. But like I say, next card that they draw could get rid of Benazir Bhutto, and then you think, oh well. But the problem is then, yeah, it's a funny one. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'll find out if I get an answer, then. I'm going to go and take a break for now, actually, and just let that one simmer away and see. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it on pause. I should know where I'm at. We've got a 3 ops. We're not sure what we're doing with that. I'm not sure if I'm recruiting in here with the fair Muslim, my best jihad DRM. I mean, that seems sort of silly as well, because there's 5 cells already there. You know, there's more cells than need be for the purpose. So I'm not sure. I think we do need an answer to that. Right, I'm going to pause for now. I'll be back in a bit. Cheers. Hi all. Right, let's continue where we left off. Here, I've just been on pause for a few hours. It's part 9 in it, so 12 minutes, 30 minutes in. Well, I popped that question out there, and haven't got any response again. I was quite surprised that I only got one reply to my first question, and it took a while, and there's me not got any response to this one yet, and that's a few hours went by. I mean, I know sometimes that happens. I kind of thought this would be a pretty well thought of game, and figured somebody would be jumping in reasonably quick with these things, but I don't know, maybe not the case. So it's a bit frustrating though, because I don't know where to go. You know, my question is, should we be stopping here and recruiting in a fair Muslim country with the best jihad DRM? I mean, there can't be a jihad in there. So I sort of feel like I should be moving on by that. And again, I think if this was a poor Muslim country and it only had 4 cells in it, I don't think we would be looking at this or this for it. But I don't know. Some might say that, well, that's how it's written. I feel like I want to override how it's written, though, because there's no jihad allowed in the country. A little surprised there's nothing out there. Well, I certainly couldn't find any. Well, I mean, actually, sometimes when I look and I'll search for subject only, give me a second. I can't find anything, whether there's something there about this or not. So, it's going to be a difficult one, this. Well, what if we skip by that and say that that's not where they're going to recruit? it would end up either recruiting, non-Muslim doesn't work, it would end up recruiting in a poor Muslim the best jihad DRM. Oops. Oh, throwing things about here. So it would end up recruiting between Afghanistan and Iraq. Wait, hold on, Grant. Why have I skipped by that? If recruit, auto-recruit with best jihad DRM. And remember, the jihad DRM are the net dyro modifiers, awakening and reaction markers, basically. Nothing to do with this first third of the game is not going to look at all at DRMs or, well, jihad success possible based on awakening and reaction markers anyway. And why have I skipped by this though? If auto-recruit with best jihad is DRM. We've got two auto-recruit countries, Afghanistan and Iraq. I can't think why I've moved on by that. I mean, I need to be able to pick between them. Have I just sort of accidentally moved on past it then? I mean, I can recruit cells in either Afghanistan or Iraq. There's nothing that's stopping that, is there? Yeah, I don't know why I've... Oh. That also says Islamic rule last. See, I remember reading that as well, didn't I? I'm not 100% sure I've been getting all that right, to be honest. Well, to be honest, I don't think I thought Islamic rule was auto-recruit for a wee while. That slipped my mind for a bit, didn't it? But I definitely remember taking note of that it would pick Islamic rule last. Yeah, and in fact, the recruit priorities here, the first step is not Islamic rule. However, if it was the only auto-recruit country, it would go in there. It would go there. Yeah, it would auto-recruit into there if it was only one. Because it doesn't want to be rolling dice if it can help it. It just wants to get them out there and then they can travel about. Yeah, well, okay. I'm confused to why I missed that. So that would take us to this. Did we not look at this again recently? Is that why I've ended up with... No, I don't think so, because now we're not considering Pakistan at all. We're not even getting to Pakistan because it's fair. We're going to auto-recruit in either Afghanistan or Iraq, right? So not Islamic rule, no. Pakistan, no. Remember, it's not auto-recruit, even though it's second on the list here. It's not auto-recruit. And that's what we're picking from, the two auto-recruit countries. That's right, isn't it, Grant? You thinking about that right? Yeah, I'm stopping at if recruit, auto-recruit. And then just because Pakistan's the second option, it's not one of the auto-recruits, so we would have to roll dice on it. So no. So no, it's not Pakistan. The next one's Basij regime. There is none. Neither of them are Basij regime. Where are we next? Syria, then Iran, and they're depending on what expansion we're on. So actually they don't apply to either just now. So Syria, Iran, Syria. Okay, that's unless north. Oh, I see. It's the first one's for awakening, second one's for forever war. And then that one's for the opposites. That one's for Awaken and that one's for Forever War, isn't it? Then the US, right? No. Sorry, what we're recruiting. Yeah, I can't recruit in the US, right? And then poor, then fair, then good. Well, they're both poor. So we're moving on. Across the other side. Highest resource. That's going to be Iraq then, isn't it? So Iraq's got a resource of 3 and Afghanistan's got a 1. So yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. I'm still scratching my head to why I slipped by that auto recruit. Yeah, I don't know. Just going back, checking the chart again from the beginning. No jihad's possible. And no poor Muslims with 1 to 4 more cells than troops. Funded moderate cell available recruit. Yeah, no poor Muslim with 1 to 4 cells. And then the next box is if recruit, auto recruit. And the fact that it says best jihad DRM doesn't matter. The jihad DRM for both of them is 0. So then we look down the priorities table, and the first one out of Afghanistan and Iraq that comes out is highest resource, and that's Iraq. Right. So the ops of the cards 3. Oh no, I don't need to roll dice. It's an auto recruit. So it's going to recruit 3 cells into Iraq. Yeah? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. So 1, 2, 3. I'm running a bit short of cells now. That does mean that they're all out and about here though. Right, that's them go 6 in Iraq to our 6 troops. Which is okay still. Right. Okay. Right. Hopefully that was all done properly. And just as well I came back to have a look at that then. I still wouldn't mind the answer to the question, because if neither of the countries were auto recruit, it would have went down to the fair Muslim Pakistan that, you know. Anyway, okay, that's that card done. So their second card play is a jihadist event. Ex-KGB. Disrupt hinders US-Russian work. What does it say? If CTR marker in Russia, remove it. Well, there's not one. If not, set Caucasus to opposite posture of US. See, this is what I was saying. Or test and shift Central Asia 1 box towards adversary. Right, well, that's playable, but obviously I'm going to have to decide which one it does. If I had a choice, I would pick the Central Asia one, I think. However, I get the feeling that that's because it's better for me and it might not work that way. So what I'm looking for the event, 62, right, here we go. There is some instruction for it. 62, ex-KGB. Shift, if not already adversary, L set Caucasus posture. Well, I think it is going to do the second option then, isn't it? I mean, I dare say that's bad as well, but at least we wouldn't be getting a penalty on the Global War on Terror Relations track. So is it shift if not already adversary, else set Caucasus posture. So the first bit doesn't matter. It's just saying if a marker's there, remove it. So it's not. And then if there's not a marker there, we either set Caucasus to opposite posture of US, or we test and shift Central Asia 1 box towards adversary. So when I see what it's saying there is if Central Asia has already been tested and it's at adversary already, then obviously it's not going to do that, it's going to do the other one. However, it wants to actually prioritise, going by the event instruction table, it wants to shift Central Asia to adversary. So we've got to test it first. Okay, so I think that's what's going to happen here. Card number 62. Let's have a wee looky. It's handy, it's on this page, isn't as far away from me. Right, so what we got? XKGB. Well, the perception of many Russians that their struggle with the Chechen separatists was part of the resistance to global jihad might make Moscow and Washington natural allies against Islamic extremism. The old adversary's long twilight struggle continues to reverberate, and the dominance in Russian leadership of former KGB Cold Warriors no doubt prolongs the effect. Okay, maybe I didn't quite read that properly, but you get the gist, I think. Okay, so yeah, there's no CTR marker in Russia. So what we're going to do is test and shift Central Asia one box towards adversary. There we go. There's Central Asia there, or what was the other one? It was Caucasus, which is here. So the other option would have been that would have went soft, and that would have started giving us a penalty. But it does state that if this is not adversary already, it wants to prefer that. So we have to test Central Asia. So what is that again? Test. It's 1 to 4. It's poor. 5 to 6. It'll be fair. And then normally it'd be neutral, but well, it starts neutral. So anyway, 1 to 4 is poor. So we want a 5 or a 6. Yeah. 4. Right. So it is going to be poor. Central Asia. I mean, that is a bad one, because that does get the chance of weapons of mass destruction at some point as well. So it's poor, and normally it'd be neutral. Poor neutral. Well, it is poor neutral, and then we test and shift Central Asia one box towards adversary. So let's go on adversary. Okay. And that's their 2 cards played. Both of them just get discarded. And we move on. Right, I think we should try and make the most of our war of ideas while it's up here at the very high. And we've now got penalties here. We've got a couple of aid markers as well. I've got... The only card that I've got is a 3-ops cards that week, which I can play. So, and then I've got a couple of 2-ops cards. I've got a wiretap in, which I'd be as well playing for the ops. Oh no, I've got loose nuke as well, which is unplayable, I think. Yeah, that's unplayable as well. So I could use my 2 jihad. Well, I've got 1 other jihadist card, which I think is always going to be playable, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. It might mean that Ethiopia Strikes has to get played and we have to just ditch that card. Well, it only gives -1 prestige. It's this card here anyway. Play if a regime change country has a cell. I mean, there's 2 of them and they've got cells. So it's -1 prestige. However, it blocks UN nation building. I'm not sure what that does. Again, this is where some knowledge of the game would kick in and you would say, oh, I don't want that blocked. Well, I'll see for now. I've got a bit of time before I need to do that. So will we... Will we do... I wonder, could I do 2 2s maybe and go for Pakistan twice? Because if we were able to get Pakistan to good, it then also helps to have an adjacent good country That helps as well. Well, let's see what happens with Pakistan then. So I'm going to play this card for the ops of 2. And you can see that the event is play if Russia has a cell and no CTR marker. Russia does not have a cell, or it doesn't have a cell. It needs to have a cell. It's not got a CT marker, but it's not got a cell. Okay, so we're using that for 2 ops, and we're going to do a war of ideas in Pakistan, I think. War of ideas, Pakistan. Improve alignments of governance now, because it's at neutral. We're only going to be able to improve alignment at this first time anyway. So neutral or ally Muslim. Oh, it's a neutral Muslim. And if no, it's not regime change. However, that is going to affect them. I'm not going to be able to do. Yeah, I need to have 5 more troops in cells in the regime change countries. Yeah, forgot about that one as well. There you go. So how many? There's 5. 1, 2, 3. There's 5. Yeah, we've got 1. We've got 1 cell in Afghanistan, and I'm really looking back to that when that cadre was there, and I could have took it out. I know I'd done some other important things at the time. In fact, I think I might have done the regime change in Iraq when I had the chance to do that, or it was something else important, or was it not putting the troops back to the track to get ready to do the regime change in Iraq? And that cadre was sitting there though, and I could have took it out, and you can see how important that could be, because then the only chance of them getting into Afghanistan again is if an event puts a cell in, or if they happen to travel. I mean, yeah, they could travel right enough, but at least I think they can. I think they could just travel. There doesn't need to be a cell for them to travel, I don't think. We've not done much in the travel department yet. So, well, okay. Again, you're looking at disrupting, aren't you? Apply regime change, withdraw, reassessment. Well, maybe I'll look at the 2 or 3 events that I've still got in my hand. Will we do this war of ideas in Pakistan though? Yeah, I mean, I could just do this twice in Pakistan if we succeed. Right, so we're going to do that. We're going to attempt to move it from neutral to ally with alignment. Then, yeah, if success, shift neutral to ally or improve its governance. If failure, place 1 aid mark. Right, no, we've not got an aid marker in there. Right, so we need, right, here's the table. So we need a 5 or a 6 to succeed. A 4 would give us an aid marker. We're not attempting to shift to good. We're just attempting to shift alignment. The global war on terror relations penalty is at 0 still. If that had moved 1 and it's solved, it would have been -1, right? And then US prestige, you can see it could be -1, 0, +1 or +2, and it is indeed in the very high column, so we're getting a +2 modifier there. There's no aid there, and there's no adjacent good, so we got a +2 modifier, and we need a 5 or a 6. Okay, we're doing this. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering, the fact we've got that Benazir Bhutto in there and the Canton Jihad in there, I mean, maybe we should be concentrating on other things. Right, okay, let's go with it. So we got +2 to this. Oof. Oh, that's not good enough, is it? That just gives us an aid marker. So 2 + 2 is 4, and 4 is just aid. Great. Well, that means we're not going to try that again, I don't think. Okay, well, what else are we going to do? So, well, that's our first card play. Let me just have a look at these events here. Actually, I was just looking at this Hezbollah card. If US play, remove a cell from a Shia mixed country within 3 countries of Lebanon. And I can only assume here that within 3 countries of Lebanon means No, it's not. I was thinking it was that one. It's not. Lebanon's there. It's 4 away then. I'm talking about Afghanistan. It's 1. I mean, it can't be 1, 2, 3. There's no connection here, so I've got to assume it's 1. Then into Iraq's 2, and into Iran would be 3. So it's actually 4 away from Afghanistan. Pretty sure that it might be in the rules that it says that. If you're looking at within, there might be a reference to that word. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to look that up. I wouldn't. I in no way would think that it would be able to go 1, 2, 3. Well, now you're starting to. I mean, it does talk about adjacency somewhere, I know, near the beginning, I think. Well, let me have a quick look then. Yeah, I think I'm maybe. Well, I'm going to take this as it's got to move adjacent, surely. You can't count between here and here, really, can you? I think you've got to assume that common sense tells you that it's got to be able to move. And it's maybe not true, because there's nothing moving here. Remove a cell from a Shia mixed country within three countries of Lebanon. Well, I'm going to say that's not playable, but I'll leave that in the video if anybody wants to suggest that it might be, that you could count Afghanistan being within 3 of Lebanon. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, there's no other way it can travel, is it? No. Because even if it goes 1, 2, no. No, I can't get to Afghanistan along the adjacency routes. I'm going to assume that that's the case. So, and just the thought of maybe getting rid of that, because that would remove that completely. So that was a thought. Right, just before I carry on, I did get a reply to my question, but unfortunately it's, the guy's just said, sorry I didn't take note of the name, I just quickly looked there just now, he just said no, and my question is, would the flow chart stop at, I mean, we realise we made a blunder there, but would it stop there, fair moves on the best jihad DRM because Pakistan was fair but Benazir Bhutto's there? And they've just said no, because there's no jihad possible there, that there's no best jihad DRM. But the best jihad DRM is nothing to do with that. I mean, I know what you're saying, and that's why I'm thinking. That's why I'm asking the question, because you can't do a jihad there just now. But that best jihad DRM has got nothing to do with that. It's based on awakening and reaction markers, and there's none of them there. And that's, I suppose, why I'm asking the question. But, again, common sense sort of tells you that, no, you can't do a jihad there, Grant. So why are you going to start putting more, I think I'm going to sort of go with that. I'm sort of hoping that somebody else might chime in. Because the answer I was given was, well, they took the time to answer. I'm not knocking that, but it was the answer that I didn't really want. I wanted maybe somebody to go a bit deeper in it and think, right, well, the jihad DRM is only based on awakening and reaction markers, but I understand that, yeah. Anyway, okay, right. So what other events have we got? We've got Hizb ut-Tahrir. If troops in overstretch, +2 funding. If troops at low intensity, -2 funding. Yeah, so you want it at low intensity, and we're not there. So that's not going to be useful. So that's, well, I mean, Hezbollah could still remove a cell from Iraq, but there's 6 of them there. And then we've got wiretapping, which isn't any good. Well, it's not playable. Play of any cadres, cells or plots in US, UK or Canada. I mean, it would be quite nice to play if these things were if it was playable, I suppose. And then Ethiopia Strikes, play of Somalia or Sudan is under Islamic rule. None of them are. I've been patiently trying to hold on to that card because it's just one of the playthroughs I watched. This sorry, it wasn't Yemen. Somalia became Islamic rule, and it was a great way to remove it from Islamic rule without putting troops in and all that, you know. Right, well, we've not really got a playable event, Grant. This is our second card, isn't it? Do we just... No, that's annoying as well. I don't really want to deploy. I can't go any higher on my prestige. It's at 12. Well, I'll tell you what, that would knock it down to 11 if I played that, but... I'm a bit worried about this UN nation building. I wonder if I should just try and get the cell out of Afghanistan, because also I want 5 more troops and cells to be able to do War of Ideas. It was 5, wasn't it? 5 more troops and cells, which I'm not going to be able to see here for a while, but Afghanistan I could. But we've got to turn the cell active. Disrupt target non-Muslim country with at least 2 troops. I'll cover it. Yeah, affect 1 cell. If 2 plus troops affects 2 cells, and we add 1 prestige, which is wasted. So I sort of feel like not wanting to do that because it's a waste. And it's only targeting 1 cell. I mean, I could do it in... Well, no. Again, you're not getting the prestige, are you? Well, what else have we got? We could attempt more ideas in Pakistan again, I suppose. Alert's no good. There's no plots. Deploy... no, I don't think I'll want to move my troops. I've got 6 still on the track, which could come in for a regime change if it went wrong. So we've got withdraw and then reassessment and change in the US posture. So yeah, I've not got great things to be able to do, to be honest. Okay, well, I guess I will try the War of Ideas in Pakistan again. I'm reluctant. I feel like I probably should be doing Disrupt, but I'm just because I'm missing out on the prestige. That's probably a silly way of thinking about it, isn't it? Right, okay. I'm going to just play this for the ops, 2 ops, and I'm going to do a War of Ideas in Pakistan again. And this time we've got a +1 aid marker, which I'm assuming if you succeed, that aid marker will come away. If success, remove all. Oh, that's how you get rid of regime change markers. Yeah. If success, shift neutral to ally or improve allies' governance by 1 level. If to good... it's if to good, remove all regime change, besieged regime, and aid markers. So does the aid markers stay there? We're not moving to good. That's interesting then. I would have thought that went away. Okay, well, we're going to benefit from this time. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do that. And then we can maybe try and get that to good. But as I can see, that's the way of getting rid of regime change. But you've got to get the country back to good. Yeah, looking back at Afghanistan there, thinking... No, okay, let's stick with that. So I'm rolling 1 die, and this time I'm going to get a +3, haven't I? +2 for my very high prestige. And +1 for the aid marker. And we're just going to shift, we're trying to shift from neutral to good. Okay. So with a +3, right, with a +3, we got a 5, and 5 is a success. I'm going to have to check on this aid marker hanging around. That feels sort of odd. I mean, it does just say when they go to good. So this moves from neutral to ally. Okay. And then next turn we could attempt to move that to good. Let's just look for the US Operation War of Ideas procedure. Alright. Roll 160 dice. A modified roll of 5 or more is needed to succeed. Modifiers depend on whether attempting a shift from fair to good. Prestige, Cold War and terror relations, aid markers and any adjacent good ally. Aid markers, right. A shift to good governance or Islamist rule removes all aid from a country. A successful jihad or plot resolution roll removes 1 aid. War of Ideas, yeah, okay, I mean, it doesn't move it, I don't think. In a country without aid, hang on. Then place an aid marker, yeah. War of Ideas can place only the first aid marker. Only events can add additional aid markers. Yeah, but it does say removal of aid markers, a shift to good governance or Islamist rule removes aid. So that stays. That's good. Okay, that's my 2 cards played. 46 minutes. I wouldn't mind trying to actually just stop there. Right, okay, we've done our 2 card plays. None of them were played for events. They just get discarded. And we're back to the jihadists. Yeah, I'm going to stop the part there though and start a new part. I'm just going to do it right away. It's just to cut things up because it'll go into over an hour here if I start. Okay, so I'll be back shortly. Cheers.